all been talking about in a way is trying to get a sense of uh, what it means to be able to empathize. We've been talking about what the people say, what the people do, how they think, and how they feel. And yes, Sunaina, I didn't sign up for this job in danger. Let me do something else. I'm so sorry I missed the chats when I was sharing screen, but this is fantastic. But these are pretty much, it's almost pretty much how you're trying to get into someone else's shoes to try and understand what they're doing. And you're trying to look at certain indicators in physical actions and behavior to help you do that. And your empathy in an education space, especially when you're doing empathy in design thinking for learning experiences, is precisely this. So what it involves is, uh, just a second. So we looked at the 6 stages of design thinking yesterday when we did our little activity and session, and these were the 6 stages that we walked our way through when we were trying to prototype and create a solution for a hypothetical problem. In design thinking, empathy is really the first step of it. And by first step, it is important for you to note the connections. It is not the last step, or it is not like you forget about empathy and you move on. The arrow to empathy is connected to every single step, like defining, ideating, prototyping, and then testing and coming back. So it is really like this vibrant space where you're trying to build some kind of a portfolio and understanding of who the learners are, what the learning contexts are. There was another thing that kind of came up in the middle of the discussions that you are having right now when we were looking at that classroom scenario. A user or a learner, generally in design thinking, in product based things, we were looking at one object and the user as someone who uses the object. We know as educationists that in learning spaces and in education, it's not the same. A classroom or a learning space is generally a dialogue and a collaboration between resources, teachers, learners. It comes together. And that step of empathy is really a way of trying to understand what happens and what the description of that space is. Because that is going to then enable us to start thinking about how to teach, how to reach out to the learners, and how to make those resources meaningful for them as learning experiences. So when you're doing these kinds of empathetic sessions in the exercise and understanding empathy, what we are really trying to do is to understand the larger space, the larger context, the larger learning environment, and the lives and the realities that are there in the classroom space. And in the current case of COVID and the pandemic, when we are moving between synchronous and asynchronous learning, face to online, and when we are trying to use technology to be able to teach and create those meaningful experiences the way it was earlier, it becomes important almost to expand the scope of what those spaces mean. So it's no longer just a classroom. We are also looking at other places that these learners inhabit. So what design thinking basically does is it makes you think about the person who is going to be the learner, the center of that activity that you're designing. Observe them, understand them, step into their shoes, not judge them, but listen to them, watch them, document what it is that they're going through to really understand the affordances that they have and their world in a way, so that the steps that one takes becomes more meaningful in the process of creating those experiences. So what one does in the process of what we call an empathy map is we try and understand and see their world. We try and appreciate them as human beings. We understand what their feelings are, and we try and communicate that understanding. And it can happen in a lot of different ways. So the general questions that we were trying to deal with in the last two activities were: what were they doing? What were they seeing? What were they saying? What were they thinking and feeling? Are some of the ways in which description can happen. Uh, the design thinkers will realize that doing and saying is easier to capture, because you do something, you can record your actions. You say something, you can write down what they're saying. Thinking and feeling are more difficult to capture. But the thinking and feeling are also the ones that will contribute to an effective experience, learning experience. If I tune out halfway, then nothing one does or says is going to help in that learning to happen. So, in a way, the idea is to create a kind of a learning experience and an empathy map that will help us as educationists understand the context in which the teaching and learning is happening in a way.